Hello and welcome back. We're at Rancho Family Medical Group in Sun City. I'm Dr. Banawa, and I'm really excited today to be introducing you to our newest physician here in the Rancho family. This is Dr. Irene Kim, and she will be joining us in clinic here in our Sun City location. So we're really excited to take a few minutes today to get to know her, her philosophy of care, and how she approaches the practice of medicine. Welcome to Rancho family.
Thank you so much, Dr. Banawa.
We're really excited to have you here. I think our patients are excited to have Rancho in the community, and they're all really excited to meet you and hear a little bit about what you like to do and how you practice. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Where are you from originally?
So I pretty much grew up my whole life in Southern California. I was born in LA, moved to Orange County when I was in middle school. So I did all my childhood, most of my childhood in LA, Orange County, and then I went to UCSD for undergrad and then New York for medical school. So a little bit of traveling, but then ultimately came back to Southern California and Long Beach to finish up residency. So
Okay, great.
yeah.
I didn't realize that you were from UCSD for your undergrad. That's where I went as well.
Really?
So, yeah, it's a really great campus. I was in Ravel College.
Oh, okay. I was in Marshall.
Nice.
So we're like neighbors.
Love it. So great. And then you did your residency, you said, in Long Beach.
Yes.
And tell me a little bit about your specialization. So you did internal medicine. What does that mean?
Yes, so I did internal medicine, which means I specialize in adults over the age of 18 and above. So it was at St. Mary's Medical Center in Long Beach. Basically saw most of the population there and was trained in that community. So,
do you do mostly inpatient or outpatient medicine? What's your role?
So it was a little bit of both. We definitely did a lot of inpatient, especially during the COVID pandemic. A lot of us were pulled back in to do hospital work. But there was also a continuity clinic where I got to see my own patients over the past 3 years. So it was really great.
When you're with Rancho with us, will you be doing any inpatient, or are you mostly going to be clinic?
Mostly clinic, but I definitely still want to do a little bit of inpatient just to, keep
your
it.
skills
Yeah,
up. Yeah,
exactly. But mostly in outpatient.
Yeah, that'll be good. So the nice thing about Rancho is even if your physicians are not actually seeing you in the hospital, we have a dedicated hospitalist team, and what they do is they keep in close contact with us. So if we're your primary, they'll reach out to us, let us know if you're admitted and what's going on with your care. So the outpatient is usually where we like to build relationships with our patients and really kind of make a difference in their lives. What's your general approach to how you like to practice medicine?
Well, I truly believe in preventive medicine. I think that's so important to keeping up with your health and keeping you healthy. So, whether it's vaccinations or colonoscopy or things like that, I think all those things are really important. So that's kind of my focus of what I like to focus on. And of course, diet and exercise comes into play as well.
I think it's really funny because we'll talk about healthcare maintenance and our patients will be like, well, I don't want to get a colonoscopy. I'm like, nobody wants to get a colonoscopy.
I know.
But it's about staying healthy versus waiting until you're sick when you're trying to practice that. What do you do yourself to stay healthy when you're not at work?
So I've always kind of been into sports. Yeah, so since kindergarten through high school, I did swimming, I did a little bit of water polo. Now I just try to run, so I'm running, jogging outside, just helps me with my stress and restoring me. So that's what I do to stay healthy.
Yes, and just kind of de-stress, deconnect, and then have that time for self-care. I think so many of our patients also end up being caregivers in some way or another. They may have small children or aging parents, and then I always kind of have to remind them, you don't ever really have the time to do these things. You have to take the time for yourself.
Yeah, take care of yourself so you can take care of others.
Right, exactly. I know that a big thing that a lot of our patients will tell me is, I don't want to go to medications right away. What are your thoughts on that, and how do you generally counsel your patients?
I always believe that patients always know themselves the best. They, live with their own body since they were born. So, if they feel like they can improve without medications, I'm totally an advocate. And I don't believe that there's you always have to take medications for something, you can totally work on it to improve that and not take medications. Of course, there is a point where sometimes that doesn't work, but absolutely.
Yeah, it sounds like you keep a really open mind in your approach to your care philosophy and meeting your patients where they are.
Yeah,
which is really nice.
And sometimes it's a compromise, and I think that's important, every doctor-patient relationship. So,
Yeah. What's something about you that would surprise me if I found out? Putting you on the spot here.
Let's see. Well, I don't know. I love to travel. I did. So in college, I actually did a year abroad.
Oh, wow. Where
in
did
Scotland.
You go? Scotland.
Yeah,
Oh, that's so interesting.
I was studying at the University of Edinburgh for my third year. I was only supposed to stay a semester, but I loved it so much over there. It's so different, and so I came back, got a different visa, and went back for the rest of the year.
That's incredible.
Yeah, so I did that. I went to Amman, Jordan for a little bit. A lot of Asian countries. I'm from my family's from South Korea, so I've been there, and Thailand and Hong Kong and things like that. So I love traveling when I can. So I guess that's something that.
Yeah, I did not know that. So that was a surprise. So that worked out well. So it sounds like your heritage, your family's from South Korea.
Yeah.
Do you bring any of that into your practice of medicine?
I think that sometimes South Koreans or Asian culture in general, sometimes there's they take care of the older generation, and they're very
Family oriented.
Yeah.
Right.
And so I hope I can bring that to my clinic, where I try to help, take care of the older generation and families and things like that. So
I think it's so important being family oriented as a physician, because you really have to understand what's happening in our patients' homes so that we can best support them. And then a lot of our patients, as they collect more birthdays, which I kind of like to say, there's challenges and struggles that are inherent in that. And so supporting our patients through healthy aging is really one of the forefront of things that we do here in our Sun City clinic. So we're really excited to have you come on board. What's something that you're hoping to do as part of Rancho Family to kind of leave your mark and leave a legacy with your patients?
Ooh, I don't know. I think just being there for my patients. I think that a lot of times health really impacts your life, and I think sometimes just a physician, just to be there in the patient's life, I think that's enough for me to leave my mark in patients, every patient's life.
Yeah. You become part of the fabric of their being, which is really nice.
Yes, exactly.
So we talk a lot about lifestyle approaches to healthcare, and there's so much different approaches to nutrition. You hear about the keto diet versus the Mediterranean versus whole food plant-based. When you're counseling your patients on strategies toward healthy eating, what are some general recommendations that you typically make?
So I would say first is processed foods is usually not the right answer. If you try to at least cut back processed foods and go for more things that were just from the farm, I think that's first a big step. And I think for patients who want to lose weight, I think it's mostly about calories and being at a calorie deficit. But not only is that important, but of course including some exercise and things like that, just to keep your body metabolism going and your health. So.
Yeah, it's hard because there's no one easy right answer.
Yes,
and so
exactly.
I always tell my patients is that what works is what will work for you, what's sustainable for you, and that you can do it long term. You can't have this diet mentality where you're going to do X, Y, and Z for a couple of weeks and then you're done and you can go back to whatever you were doing before.
Yeah.
I think it has to be, a fundamental lifestyle change in how you approach food. And so, whatever works for you is definitely important. Yeah. What are some things that you like to do in your practice where we're talking about in the middle of a pandemic with stress reduction, depression, anxiety? How do you help your patients move through periods where they have mental challenges in their life?
I think it's all about support I think identifying the one person or the few people, whether it's your family or your friends, your close friends, for them to go through that with you. I think there should be no person that goes through anything alone, because that just makes it even harder and like more anxiety driven. Right. So I think, especially during the pandemic, it's just all about like your family and friends support and identifying that person to go through that struggle with you.
Right. And I like the way that you said family and friends, because sometimes family isn't who you were necessarily born into. It's the family you create for yourself. Yes. And especially in this day and age where people, their loved ones may be far away distance-wise, you can have a community here at home. For us in Sun City, we have our senior center and we have our classes, which is really nice. We'll do things like Zumba and strength. Once things start settling down, we can do that again. That can be really fun.
Yeah.
So we're excited for that. Thank you so much for taking the time to meet with us and share a little bit about yourself. We're so excited to have you here. If you're looking to establish with Dr. Irene Kim, she'll be seeing patients in our Sun City location with myself. This is our home base, and she'll be starting in September 1st. She's really excited to get to meet you all. I talk very, very highly about our patients. You're all near and dear to our hearts, so she's going to be a great addition to our team, and we're really looking forward to it. Have a great rest of your day, and stay safe and stay healthy.